My people, this gist where they fly around now, a very hot one. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu has started pushing strongly for electoral reforms, and some headlines are saying this move is like working against President Tinubu's re-election come 2027. Now, let us break this matter down properly because there are many sides to it, and you deserve to understand clearly. Please, before I continue, if you are watching right now, kindly like this video and subscribe to the channel because your support helps us to keep bringing you real gist in real time. So, what is happening? The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC for short, is the body that organizes and manages elections in Nigeria. Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the chairman, has been speaking openly, saying that before 2027, the laws guiding elections must be reviewed, updated, and made very clear. He is calling on the National Assembly to quickly amend the Electoral Act to make sure there is no confusion or loophole when Nigerians go to vote again. Now, you might ask, why is this becoming news? Why are people interpreting his call for reform as a move against the president? It is because politics is already heating up. The ruling party, the APC, has already endorsed Bola Ahmed Tinubu to run for a second term in 2027. Once that announcement came, every action or statement from any national institution, especially INEC, became sensitive. So when Mahmood Yakubu is insisting on new reforms, some people interpret it as trying to change the rules of the game in a way that could affect the president's chances. But let us be very clear. INEC is not supposed to play politics. INEC's main duty is to prepare a level playing ground for all candidates and parties. Mahmood Yakubu has said several times that he wants clarity on issues like voter accreditation, the electronic transmission of results, and the timelines for primaries and campaigns. He has also been asking government to increase funding for the commission so they can buy the needed technology and run voter education properly. Please like this video and subscribe if you are still with me because this point is important. When you look at the last elections, we all know there were issues. Technology sometimes failed, results were delayed, some voters complained of irregularities, and political parties dragged each other to court. Observers, both Nigerian and international, pointed out that the laws guiding the process were not strong enough and left too much space for confusion. So what INEC is saying now is, let us fix all these problems ahead of time so that by 2027, Nigerians can have an election that is more transparent, more credible, and less controversial. Now, let us not deceive ourselves. Reforms are always political. If you change how votes are counted, or how results are transmitted, or how parties get registered, it will surely affect the strategies of political parties. For the ruling party, they may see this as something that could disturb the momentum of the president's re-election bid. For the opposition, they may see it as an opportunity to push for fairness. For citizens, reforms are usually welcomed if they will make the vote count better. This is why you hear strong reactions and accusations flying around. Some opposition politicians and civil society groups have welcomed Yakubu's call. They are saying Nigeria cannot afford to repeat the same mistakes of the past elections. They want a system where the law is clear, technology is reliable, and voters can trust the results. But at the same time, you also have political voices accusing INEC of bias. For example, some politicians have even alleged that INEC blocks parties from registration or that it plays favorites. INEC has denied such claims, but you know how politics is. Accusations are part of the game. Now, viewers, let me ask you, do you think INEC can really be neutral? Or do you believe, as some people argue, that no matter what they do, politicians will always accuse them of bias? Please drop your answer in the comments below, and while you're at it, remember to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss more updates like this. So let us look forward. Will reforms really happen before 2027? The truth is, it depends on three things. 1. If the National Assembly is willing to pass the new bills quickly. 2. If civil society and citizens put pressure on lawmakers to act. And 3. If INEC gets enough funding and time to actually implement these reforms, if all these conditions are met, we can see a better process by 2027. But if they delay, we may end up with the same problems again. Now let us talk about why this matters for you, the voter. If reform succeed, it means when you go to vote in 2027, you are more likely to see faster accreditation, smoother process, and results that appear online quickly. That builds trust. It also means smaller parties may find it easier to participate without being frustrated. But if reforms fail, it could mean more court cases, more tension, and more doubt about whether votes truly count. And here is where the gist gets more engaging. Some people are saying Yakubu's insistence on a reform is secretly aimed at reducing the power of incumbency. That means limiting how much advantage a sitting president or ruling party can have during elections. Others believe it is simply about protecting INEC's own image. After all, after every election, it is INEC that receives most of the blame when things go wrong. So, Yakubu may just be fighting to protect the commission's credibility, not to target any specific person. Still, politics is perception. If people believe INEC's actions will hurt Tinubu's 2027 campaign, that perception can drive the news, even if the reality is more about law and process. This is why we must always separate fact from speculation. The fact is, INEC wants legal clarity, more funding, and better technology. The speculation is INEC is targeting Tinubu. You, as viewers, must decide how much weight to give to each side. Let me also add this. Leadership changes in INEC are another reason this gist is loud. There are discussions about who will succeed Mahmood Yakubu when his term ends and how that transition will affect 2027. Once politics enters that space, everything INEC says or does gets magnified as part of the game. So as we are watching 2027, we must watch two fronts at the same time. One, how President Tinubu and the APC prepare for the re-election campaign. Two, how INEC and the National Assembly manage electoral reforms. Both will shape how the next election will look. Now let me pause here and ask you, my viewers, do you think these reforms will really happen before 2027? Or do you think it's all talk? Comment below with your thoughts, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do so now. Remember, liking and subscribing is free, but it helps us keep this conversation going. Before I round off, let me give you my professional verdict. It is natural for INEC to ask for reforms. Every serious electoral body should push for better laws and resources. It does not automatically mean they are fighting against the president. But it is also natural for politicians to interpret every move as political, especially when the stakes are as high as a presidential re-election. So the smart way for citizens is to stay alert, follow the news, support transparency, and keep demanding fairness. That way, whether or not the politicians agree, the people remain the true winners. So my people, that's the full gist for today. INEC is pushing reforms, Tinubu is preparing for 2027, and Nigeria is in for a heated political season. What do you think? Is Yakubu's call genuine or is it political? Please let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe right now so you don't miss the next update.